Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Cadillac, and I'm here on the first day of session. Actually, it's after midnight, so it's past the first day. But today was the first day of session, and they are starting to, convene, and they opened it with a press conference. And I kind of wanted to, I want to get the video and then like actually let you hear the press conference and put my little 2 cents and all of that stuff in there. But I really wanted to go to it, but I was unable to. It was in Tallahassee, and I am in Orlando, so it is kind of around the corner, but it's not so easy just to jump up on the road and stuff. So unfortunately, I did miss it, but I want to cover that, really soon, maybe the next video. But what I came to you today is just to show you the brochures that I created for Marcello. I'm seeing more and more how my graphic design career is actually playing a role in this, which, I was kind of down because I'm like, after all of that schooling, I thought everything was going to be fine. If I could just get through school, if I could just get through school, then I could get out of this laundry room. Or when I just get through school, I can do something like, but it didn't play out like that. When the pandemic came, and it's like the graphic design jobs that I'm seeing are not for beginner graphic designers such as myself. They are for like senior graphic designers, and those are the ones that like oversee and delegate tasks to the which would be an incoming entry level graphic designer. You have to work your way up the ranks in graphic design, and I'm pretty much at the bottom rank. So, needless to say, I don't have that graphic design job. So, graduating, but I kind of graduated in a weird time, a weird time. So, I'm kind of just sitting here waiting, you know. And instead of waiting, as soon as I got out of school, that's when I kind of got the prompting to, fight again for Marcello. And I picked back up Project Reach the World, reignite it and get it going. So my graphic design skills are coming more and more in handy. I just showed y'all that magazine. That is crazy. Like that's something real, like for real. And now I have these brochures, which several of the people that were in attendance, they created their brochures for their loved ones and just want to pass them out and send them out to the senators and the commissioners and I'm not commissioners, the committee members and stuff like that that are going to decide these bills if they're going to go through or not. But the point of the flyers are to tell our loved ones individual stories and let them know that they're not just a number, they are a human. And one of the things that I seen when I seen the playback video was when the person that said the prayer, they said to know that each time a person is incarcerated, it's not just them, their whole family is incarcerated. And I'm here to let you know that is the truth. Marcello took me to prison with him. Yes, I have done 19 years. Yes. So my flyer, I didn't get up to Tallahassee. So what I said was that I was going to, watching the video, I'm taking notes on each person's name and the people that are sponsoring these bills. And I want to mail out the flyer, and I would like to send them an email, maybe an email link to my magazine. The magazine is kind of pricey to try to print, especially in color. Color printing is rather expensive, and for some reason I can't keep a good up and running printer. But the ink gets expensive too. So the magazine, I could just email it to them if they were interested in it. And the flyer, I can print that. I could print a few. I don't know if I would print more than 20. That might be, maybe $15 or so. I could run that and get Marcello's story, start getting his story around. I did have an acquaintance that said that they were going out there, and I did email over I emailed over the file for his brochure, and she said she was going to print it out and pass some out. I don't know how that went, so you can't put your fight for your loved one in others' hands. You would like for others to join in with you, but that fight, I have to take the reins on that. So I'm going to start getting his story out, like through emailing the flyers or sending the flyers. So here's the flyer. It took me all day to make. Yes. But that's okay. That's what I spend all my time doing. What else can I do under Project Reach the World? What I don't know how to sit still until he comes home. I do not know how to sit down and just sit and just wait. I don't know how to do that. Like, come on. So here it is. Here's the front, which will be the outside of it. And the outside, the first panel is, if that looks very familiar to you, is because that originated basically where the images show like from birth, the first two little panels that are over to the left, that is showing when we basically had just had money, and it was the little one was when he's holding her up and she was just born. And then right above that one is the one where she has on like this little flower. It's like a sunflower headdress, and she's kissing him. I love that picture. I really love that picture. But that picture was actually taken like right before he ended up going to prison, right? Just a little bit before he went to prison. So it's showing their interaction. She would be all on him. She would grab his face, his neck, and just hug him. She would rub her face back and forth, like her face rubbing into his face. And she used to do that as a baby. They did that for a while until she got like to be a really big, girl. She stopped doing it. But she used to love to rub her face into his face, just like that picture. And then you see all along the bottom, all the visitations, all as you see her age progressing, his age progressing, but you see all of that through, their bond through visitation. Then you have me up here in my supposed to be prison outfit. It actually was a nurse's uniform that I had got, and I was trying to put the little white stripes that they have on the pants, and I had like some tape for the white stripes. I had some chains that my hands were chained together, and I actually performed like that it was a slip and slide. They were actually looking for artists. They must have been looking that good because they sure didn't scoop me up. Because what better artist could you find than me? Like, for real. But anyways, it didn't play out like that, But I performed handcuffed, actually. And what came to mind was like, it's crazy. What I was doing back in 2006 when I started this, like, do you see all the stuff I was doing? Like, for real, I was doing a lot. But it's just people's minds and eyes were so closed to the fact of people being wrongfully convicted and the situations in prison. Like, nobody honestly believed that stuff. They didn't know it was going on. And it was like I was telling a tall tale, or, girl, move to the left. Like, what the heck is you talking about? That's how I was treated and looked at like I was crazy. it is so funny that I was way ahead of my time. And now, this time, all the stuff that I used to do back then, do you know how relevant it is now? I think that picture where I performed Handcuff had to have been from like 2008 or 2009. Like, that's crazy. And then over here, you see him, he would always pick her up. And what was so funny about that is my friend that I had, at the time, she would always, every time I would come back from visitation, I would show her, she'd be like, let me see that picture. Let me see the whole picture. And she said, I know he ain't pick up that big old girl. And every time they would take a picture, he would pick her up. And she'd be like, yeah, you need to pick that big old girl and tell him he gonna pull his back trying to pick up that big old girl. And each picture, as it progresses, you see her legs get longer and longer. She's taller and taller, and he's still trying to pick her up. And at that picture, she's pretty big now, and he's still picking her up. That's so crazy. Then you see the little middle panel, which that would be once you close the brochure, put the stamp on there, and it that little piece is from his GoFundMe banner. I haven't quite worked out all the kinks with that, but it does say age progression at its worst, and it's not visitation, I'm sorry. And it's a picture, the little mugshot pictures they take when they enter into a prison. Well, the one that's on the left is actually one of his first ones. I'm not sure if that's his exact first one from the DOC website or if it was a little later, but it's you can tell. Look at how baby faced he looks. And then on the right, that's him very recently, maybe within the last 2 years or so. Now, I know the first thing people are going to say, hey, what's wrong with his face? He has vitiligo, and he does get very self-conscious about it. And like his skin color fades. He'll lose certain spots, and then it'll try to fill back in, and he'll lose it again. But that's what that is. He does have vitiligo. Um, but look at it, 19 years. When I seen that picture on the left, when I had seen it when I had to look him up when he was transferred, it was a big riot or whatever that was at the camp that he was at, and he was transferred. And for me to find him, I went on that website. I mentioned before how I hate that website because it shows me that ugly release date, and I don't want to see that. Sometimes I put that out of my mind and I forget, because it is not easy to do a 40-year prison sentence. So I don't like to look at it. When I seen that picture, they updated his picture. Like, they every so often they update it, and they updated his picture. When I look into his eyes, oh my God, on that picture, it feels like I could just feel him crying. Like, oh, like I just want to help him so bad. Oh boy, I just want you out of there. Like, I really just want you home, like for real. Like, I really can feel his pain through that picture. It's like his eyes just say so much, like almost like he's starting to lose hope. But when you talk to him, it's not like that. He's always so hopeful, and he just knows he's coming home. But yeah, on that picture, it just feels like, oh, somebody just help me, please. Okay, and then the next panel is actually the front of the brochure. Once you close it up, I have a picture. It says, I'm sorry, the title is Families Ripped Apart. And that's basically what happened to us. We were planning to be a family, and it was like, nope, that's not what y'all are going to do. You're going to be here, you're going to be here, and just figure that crap out. And that's what happened. But I don't think the intentions through the system was for us to stay together like that. That was our choice, and it was very hard, very extremely hard to stay together through something like this. That is almost impossible. Impossible, just about. It's not impossible because I did it, but that's almost impossible to do, like for real. Then it has his name, Marcello Jackson, and then it reads Proverbs 24:3. There is nothing stronger than a broken man who has rebuilt himself. Yes. And I was talking to him the other day, and I was like, I don't know, how do you do this time? Like through the whole thing, you have always remained positive. You've always told me it's just a matter of time. I'm on my way home because I break down and I'm like, this is not gonna happen. Like, we're not, I'm sorry, we're just not gonna be able to be together. And he always is like, no, I'm coming home. I know I'm coming home. And I'm saying, no, I just have to be able to accept that there will be you there and me here. And there will always be bars in between us. And there's no point in, thinking about these things that'll never happen. And he's like, no, I'm coming home. It's just a matter of time and this, and that. And I was like, how do you stay so strong? And what he told me, he was like, the only reason I got through this is because you've been by my side. Without you, I wouldn't have made it through this. And it's like, in my mind, I feel like I'm weak. How in the world am I keeping you strong and I'm weak? It's crazy. God bless him, though. I just hate to see that. You know, this is what he could have been, what he should have been. Crazy. But now he's a bed filler. Yep, a bed filler. Oh, okay. So here's the inside. The first panel of the inside is a big picture of him. That's when we were visiting at Lake. Oh, my little fine, sexy guy. He was always so cute and handsome, even with his little spots. He gets self conscious about them. But I always tell him, nobody else can pull them spots off. Like, for real, you the only one that can pull them off. Because everybody else wouldn't have, looked as great with them. But you pull them off. Like, they don't even, taint how fine he is. Maybe that's just me looking at him, but, whatever. So right across from it is a picture of us at Vizzo. And the reason I like that picture is because that is one of the only times you'll never really see me smile, honestly. You don't see me smile too much. I don't smile too much because, well, I don't use a big smile. First of all, because it does go back to that Draw My Life. When I had that accident and became Scarface, I actually knocked my front tooth out. So I had a chipped tooth, and I learned how to smile without parting my lips to show my teeth. Always trying to hide that. I was always trying to hide something, like always trying to hide something. So I don't smile too big. And then also, I always have like a little tiny smile because though I smile, I don't always feel as happy like that. Like I smile because, it's going through the motions. You want to look like you're all right. But a lot of times I'm not really. It's like smiling out of giving people what they want. Uh, I don't know how to explain it. But I don't smile that much. That was a real smile. This is a real smile on this picture. And that was my birthday. Him and a couple people at visitation had got together and they made me a prison birthday cake. They had just gave it to me. Everybody just bust out all over the visitation room, started singing happy birthday. And it was just, oh my gosh, it was so emotional. That was a real smile. And then just below that, those are the pictures I was telling you about when like before he went to prison, just showing the bond that him and his daughter had together. So the reason, like I said, for this brochure is to humanize Marcello Jackson so that you know him, the human, and you don't know him the number X388 blah blah blah. You know the human Marcello Jackson. And to tell the inconsistencies, the inside of the text, the only reason I'm not going to read it is because I'm going to read that in his GoFundMe video. I'm going to do a video about that because I am starting a GoFundMe. And it occurred to me that, dang, Kita, you should have started this years upon years ago. Because even if people had not have really donated a lot over what the last 20 years, I probably still could have raised something. So now I'm finally starting it. I have one $15 donation, which is from a supporter that I have had from day one. This guy has supported me from day one. Yes, he has always supported me. Me and him, we worked at the super center together. He was an older guy. I was much younger then. And back then I had this demo. Like it was so ghetto. Like when I started rapping and I hadn't been to a studio, I started out with the little desktop mic. I don't even think they make those anymore or people use them or whatever. But it was this little cheap microphone. I hope I can find a picture of what one looks like. But I literally just recorded it with this mic and just whatever basic like memo recording thing that you have on your computer. I literally did it on that. And I found a way to make it into a MP4, I mean an MP3, and then downloaded them and burned them. Burn, like who does that anymore? But burn them on a CD. And I would pass it out. I used to draw my little CD covers back then, and I passed it out. And he actually listened to this one. And this one was my completely all about Marcello CD. It was all about, because the only reason I started rapping was because I wanted to get Marcello's story out. I made one song that was called My Baby Daddy, and I thought I was going to get it on the radio station and the local radio station, not even thinking it's going to be all around the world. I just needed it on Orlando's radio station so that people can hear the song. And when the song gets out, they'd be like, "Is that a true story?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a true story. I'm fighting for him, blah, blah, blah." And in turn, when people heard this story, because I mentioned before that I didn't think that this happened because of injustice. I thought this happened because it was a mistake. And once people realized this mistake, it would be corrected. I didn't know that these things happened because of they basically happened on purpose. I didn't know that. So I kept saying if I just get a story out, then it's gonna be all reversed and fixed. And that's just like I don't know. I don't know. So it was weird. It was like all the songs were basically about him, and they were like it was no type of sound quality. It really was bad. And he listened to it and he was like, "I'm an artist." And he made my first business cards that I would have me as the rapper Cadillac. He made my first business cards to pass out to people. And then he also set me up an email address. I knew zero about anything, like anything. I think he set that up. And from there, he wanted me to make a MySpace page or whatever, which I was doing it on MySpace. I had lots of plays. Like, I hate that they had got rid of that because that was better for an artist. But yeah, he set all that up later on Facebook. Like he's the first one. Anything that I put up, he's like reading it, responding to it, listening to it. It doesn't matter what art form it is, if it's my artwork, if it's my music, if it's any of that. He is really like he's the true supporter. and he has always supported, and it's so crazy that he's a real true fan. So needless to say, as soon as I made this GoFundMe for Marcello, within maybe a couple hours I had my first donation from him. Thank you so much. I haven't received any more donations, but yeah, that's special that no matter what I do, I'm always supported. That's really special. All right, I am getting tired. It is like after midnight. I hate to let a day go. It's like once I go to sleep, it's like I'm parting with that day. That's what it feels like. And my time feels so rushed. Right now, I got so many ideas, so many things because this season feels like what I've been waiting for. Like this is my season. Like I said before, nobody cared or wanted to hear nothing about this story or anything similar. Now it's so relevant. And the thing is, by nobody wanting to hear for so long, I said, okay, they don't want to hear. I changed it. I stopped talking about it. I let it go. And it's like all of a sudden it's time for it. But you ever heard where you have to get prepared and stay prepared? All this time, I've been preparing myself, but it just now is the time. Now, if I had a did that music that I did back then, now it might would actually spark and become something. But the one good thing for me, no matter how discouraged I got, I never quit. I never quit creating. I never quit trying. I never quit networking with people. I never quit telling my story. I never quit telling his story. Whether people looked at it, didn't look at it, whether people took notice, didn't take notice, I never stopped. Never. Anyways, thank you guys so much for sticking around. Yes, I know these videos getting longer and longer. It's crazy when I go to rambling, I don't realize how much time passes by. But y'all are actually watching the videos, and thank you so much. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for everything, just showing your girl love and helping me with this process and everything. Thank you so much because you make it worth the time, like for real. But I guess keeping with the latest trend, what I've been doing, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you with a song. So of course you're not feeling the music, you can click off now. You're alright with it, then let me know. Whatever. I accept all feedback. Some people like my music, some don't. Some people love my voice, the heaviness and gruffness of my voice, some don't. So I don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna do something off that first album. Like I said, he has been supporting me from day one, like for real day one. And I'm gonna go ahead and do a song that I have from that era, and it's called Grandmama. And the significance of this song was me writing to my grandmother. Like she passed in 1998. She passed on Thanksgiving evening after cooking dinner, eating, everybody eating, and everyone spoke to her but me. I didn't get to speak to her. She was on the phone with my mother, and I was in the bathroom braiding my hair. And I thought the phone was going to get passed to me after she spoke to my sister. She spoke to my mother. She spoke to several other people. Like the phone went passed around, and I was like, "Oh, mom, you hung up. I didn't get to speak to grandma." And she was like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm gonna call her back later, and you could speak to her then." And it was over. I didn't get to speak to her because she passed that night. So this song was the significance was this was me speaking to her because that was pretty much it. I didn't get the last, speak on talk on the phone with her. So this was my song telling her how everything, is now. Remember, this my first album. They didn't like it. People didn't like it, but whatever. Okay, this is called Grandmama. Grandmama, is it better on the other side? And if so, then gone save a space for I. 'Cause the way of this world, it's on my shoulders, and I don't know if I can keep from going under. Grandmama, is it better on the other side? And if so, then gone save a space for I. 'Cause the way of this world, it's on my shoulders, and I don't know if I can keep from going under. Grandmama, if you're listening to the words I say, since we last spoke, it's some major things in my life that change. And yeah, I got pregnant and I had myself a baby girl. Baby daddy got locked up. He left us all alone in this cold, cold world. I gotta drive 5 hours now just so she can see her daddy. Gotta listen to her cry and plead, "Mommy, please can daddy come with me?" I gotta work 2 jobs, seems like, just so I can make ends meet. Made me wanna holler out, "Lord, is this really how life's supposed to be?" Grandmama, is it better on the other side? And if so, then gone save a space for I. 'Cause the way of this world, it's on my shoulders, and I don't know if I can keep from going under. Grandmama, is it better on the other side? And if so, then gone save a space for I. 'Cause the way of this world, it's on my shoulders, and I don't know if I can keep from going under. Seems like every day I'm digging myself deeper in a hole. It's like I'm lost and having a hell of a time trying to get back home. Now more and more I'm wishing for them days of old, like the times before you left, before this world turned so, so cold. Now there's no more helping hands, no more shoulders for me to lean on. See, no one else gives a damn, and now I'm out here all alone. If I hold in there, is it really hope for tomorrow? Grandmama, I hope so, because I can't take no more sorrow. Grandmama, is it better on the other side? And if so, then gone save a space for I. 'Cause the way of this world, it's on my shoulders, and I don't know if I can keep from going under. Grandmama, is it better on the other side? And if so, then gone save a space for I. 'Cause the way of this world, it's on my shoulders, and I don't know if I can keep from going under. Grandmama, I know you hear me calling. Grandmama, I know you up there listening. Grandmama, I'm going insane. Grandmama, I'm in so much pain. Grandmama, is it better on the other side? And if so, then gone save a space for I. Cut away this world, it's on my shoulders, and I don't know if I can keep from going under. Yeah, it's your girl Cadillac.
It's your girl Cadillac.